All right, welcome, friends. It is a new era, not even a new episode, a new era. And look who I have with me, none other than Pawel Burza, the community manager extraordinaire. Yeah, we needed something to replace he who shall remain nameless. You know, there's she who knows, and then there is he who shall remain nameless.
Exactly.
So I am ecstatic to say that when I reached out to you, you were very enthusiastic to say, absolutely, I will jump in. So welcome, Pawel Burza, to the, dare I say, Flurza podcast.
Awesome to be here. I mean, I have really big shoes to fill in this case, but yeah, don't expect any Gwent insight when it comes to analytics or gameplay overall. But you can expect a good time, a little bit of laughing, a little bit of insight into what we're doing, but also just me and Flake just having a good time. Flurza, I like it. It's pretty nice.
Like Flakemiri was nice and all, but like, don't when you say big shoes to fill, don't pump the tires on he who shall remain nameless. Do not pump the tires, because he went off and did something ultra selfish and start a family. So how dare he spend his time with people that he loves, raising Shinminis, I guess, or whatever you want to call them. So that's it.
That's life.
Life.
It happens. I mean, what can you do about it?
I will do nothing. I will replace him immediately. That was the plan. The second
Easy. Out.
Yeah, he has been auto mulliganed. He is basically like pulling Roach in your starting hand. It was insta click, see you later.
Nope.
Yeah, it was just constant dismissal. So he who shall remain nameless has been upgraded to a Pawel Burza. But in reality, we thank him. But I will not. I'm not over it yet. I'm not gonna say his name.
Yes. It's still you still hold a little grudge, right? It still kind of burns.
Oh, the embers are hot, my friend. The smoke reaches high. Yes, I wouldn't say it's a grudge necessarily. I thought we had something good going. It's like I feel like I got dumped by my boyfriend, and
got
on
ghosted
prom night
almost, right?
Oh, but it wasn't even ghosted. But it's like, let's be real. He left me for a younger man, aka his son. But like, I'm just saying. I get it. And, just a couple days removed from my birthday, it just rubs in terms of feeling my age. Yeah. So
terrible.
What are you going to do? But yeah, the direction of this particular podcast, this new direction, is the fact that, I'm perhaps maybe have monopolized the access to leaks. If we're going to be doing this once a week, that's a pretty good deal.
It's a leak revenue stream, pretty much. You get it straight from the source. It's just flowing out now.
Oh,
it's
yes.
You feel like was it like Donald or McScrooge or whatever his name was, that he had this big vault with all the coins that he would like jump into and swim in them.
Scrooge McDuck. Yeah.
Yes, Scrooge McDuck, exactly. So you're Scrooge McDuck right now.
I think that McScrooge was the Irish version of Scrooge. That is, yeah. I will be going to that well very often here because, frankly, who else has as intimate a connection to CDPR in Gwent as you do? I guess Vlad, but Vlad told me to go fly a kite. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the big boss now. I don't think he'll have the time for this stuff, but I'm here to, fill in, tell the lovely people what they want to know. More than happy. And I'm really excited for the question part because it's something that I don't really do anymore on Twig instead of focusing more on the guests. So we can probably, pull more questions here and then address them. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's more community focused also in this case. I want to be doing more of this stuff because I think it's beneficial and I think it's cool. Plus, hanging out with you is always a pleasure, dude. If we're going to prioritize, we talked about it in this previous episode, right? Like we pretty much have an understanding and we kind of work on similar levels. So it's really cool to do it.
It's kind of like you and I are, when we met, it's like the movie Step Brothers, but without all the friction like prior to it. Like, you know that scene where they're like, did we just become best friends? Yup. Like that was us. Like, and then it just cuts to you and I watching Shark Week on the couch, right? Like
exactly.
That's kind of how it goes. So I was very, very happy when you decided to say, yeah, absolutely. Let's just pick a spot on the calendar and I'll block it off. So I'm very happy. And I like the direction, because honestly, when I will be completely transparent here. There's a few people I asked, you included, who wanted to do the show, or I asked if they'd want to, I don't want to say audition, but like audition makes this sound like this is something of like a supreme value and that you're getting paid.
I mean, you gotta fill in the shoes, right? We talked about it in the beginning. Like you can't just walk in from the street and be like expecting to get the job.
I am going to ask Mark Theus, who produces the show, to put up a ass kissing counter for Shinmiri. Every time that you kiss his ass, it just goes bing. One more time. He shall remain nameless. He left us, and I am salty about it. But like the fact that we're going to be doing this more as like a community focused thing, I think that's great. And I do think it's great because I don't have the same kind of analytical mind that other people, like he who shall remain nameless, like Shinmiri, has, and neither do you. And I'm not saying that from a detrimental point, because you and I bring different elements to the table. So we did our 10 episodes of meta analysis, card analysis, tournament reports and stuff like that. And I thought that was great. And you know what? Maybe you and I are going to now just kind of veer more towards the development of the game, talk more about community involvement, and who better than to have you on board. So that's damn awesome. And
happy to be here.
Well,
happy to be here.
What was amazing is I have something that you gave me when I met you.
Ooh.
And I found it. I was doing a lot of cleaning and organizing this month, a nice little therapeutic activity. And as I was sorting a whole bunch of cards, I have to be very careful about how I hold this up, I found this.
Nice.
This is a business card that I got before, I believe it was before Pavko Gale was even legal. I don't think it was even released yet, I might be wrong. But yeah, underneath this is a lot of contact information. I don't know if I want to put that on the screen. But it's
probably outdated.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, either
probably
way.
Is.
So that is, I'm trying to think here.
That's the OG though. That's the OG. And it was when the card was gonna be released, but it was still like a silver, for Scoia'tael. And we gave it the number 46 because it's my favorite number. Yeah, and it's really cool because it was the ones that where we had the idea that everybody in the studio gets cards which will be inspired by Gwent, and we'll also put them in sleeves. The sleeves was my idea, so it was kind of my
clutch.
Clutch. I remember bringing like my Magic cards and showing it to the designers. I was like, since you're making these and you're gonna make them like be cards, let's put them in sleeves. Let's make it like really nerdy. And they're like, what are these sleeves? And I kind of brought all different type of sleeves, like translucent ones, matte, shiny ones, and all that stuff. Like, let's choose from this.
You're like an interior decorator. You're just like bringing all the floor samples and carpeting like swabs and stuff like that. And these are
more like a nerd with his like walking in with his precious cards.
You're talking about something like this where you show up with your binder and you're like,
yes,
is this it? Is it right here? Is it this or is it this?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I just want to make sure.
That's how I roll, man. That's how I roll.
That's why you and I get together and are just because we both have the same thing. And not only that, these are Ultra Pros. These are some solid, high quality sleeves.
I insisted on those.
Shout out, by the way, to the fact that this podcast still doesn't have a sponsor and we are still desperate. We'll sell anything. Shinmiri and I have had this discussion. We will whore out anything if it.
Dude, think about if we have our own sleeves. Like you would be on the sleeve and the Ultra Pro would be behind that. Oh man.
So reality, I was gonna say, is that Ultra Pro is I'm in talks with Ultra Pro to sponsor my Flesh and Blood podcast, and they sent me a whole bunch of cool stuff. So Ultra Pro,
awesome merch.
Yeah, let's double down on the Flake content, baby. Send me follow at Ultra Pro INTL. I think that's Ultra Pro International, and tell them that Flake sent you. All right. That's kind of where the direction of the show is going to go. And like you said, I too am always, one of my favorite parts is reading the questions that we get, but we didn't get any questions yet because I didn't post it or request them.
This is the big reveal. This is, world premiere.
Exactly.
Flurza.
Yeah, this is the world premiere of Flurza. This is the red carpet, congratulations, you made it. You had to get blindfolded and put in a van and driven here, and you had no idea where you are, and boom, Flurza. So next episode is going to be substantially more in-depth. It's going to be meatier, as it were. There's going to be more parufki on the plate, as it were. Is that a good one?
Yeah. I mean, although I don't know if parufki are that exciting, to be honest. We're gonna be. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be nice and hearty. It's more gonna be like, like bigos or like pierogi filled with something good inside. Kind of like, comfort food.
Damn right. Oh yeah. Every time I'm in the grocery store and I walk past the frozen aisle and there's like these like American brand pierogi, I'm like, get the hell out of here. If you're not made by an 80-year-old Polish woman, I am not interested at all. Yeah. At all. Like, yeah, that's precisely it. She needs to make everything mix it in the same bowl she's had since she migrated here. So that's the way I now want it. Yeah,
the bowl has seen the Second World War pretty much. And,
exactly.
It's been there with her.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like you could actually see, the fact that there's like bullet marks in it and stuff like that. Like they were there. This was once used as a helmet. Like it was. But yeah. So that's where we're gonna get to eventually, and we're just flying by the seat of our pants here because I didn't. When you were on that episode where you replaced He Who Shall Remain Nameless, we had a little bit of a script. We ran through with with what we did. The Dagon rumor report, I think should live, but this is our show now, so you need to be able to, you can suggest how you want this to go, but I like Dagon rumor report. I think should stay.
Totally. I'm down for that one. It'll be a quick and easy weekly update with big no, and then we can move on, right?
Exactly. It's like, hey, no, we should have like the Renfrey report, for that dude, Dr. Crotchet or whatever his name is.
For sure.
Again, fat no. So keep going, keep digging in that well, buddy.
No, that was never a fat no. That is something that will happen down the line, but still more time. While Dagon is just like, it's gone. They gone. It's gone.
They gone, baby.
They gone.
Yeah.
They ain't coming back.
Oh man. And I think that we should have the maybe like the Polish word of the day or of the week.
Ooh,
where
nice.
I will tell you a Polish word that my babcia told me, and you can kind of like just tell us what it means.
Yeah. You always surprise me with those because you always bring new words that are in Polish, like to the table, like always, especially when we're doing any production stuff. But yeah, you were supposed to add more words, especially when I'm doing interviews to kind of throw me off balance, but you don't really do it. So.
I don't do it anymore because I feel bad. I legit feel bad because for those who are listening and don't know, when Pawel Burza is interviewing a player, like the way that we're doing this, we're all like interconnected in the same server, connected, audio, visuals, everything, so everyone can hear everyone at the same time. So when Burza is interviewing a player and he can hear in his earpiece everything that all the live mics are saying, so myself, Shinmiri, production, Mateusz? Yeah. Mateusz in production. We're all connected. So what I used to do, but I haven't done it in a while, but like if you go back maybe 2, 3, 4 tournaments ago, if ever you see Burza just randomly laugh while he's listening to somebody give an answer to like Burza will be like, oh, who do you want to face in the next round? And then someone will start explaining, and it's not funny, but he just starts laughing. It's because I whispered in the mic, Duja Dupa or something like that, or Naleśniki or something. So, and then he just starts laughing, but I don't do it anymore because I feel bad. Like I just genuinely feel bad that I'm that I'm annoying you, which I know I am, but still.
No, I'm always kind of expecting something, but then. If it doesn't happen really, then I kind of feel like, oh man, he could have done something. It'll be funny. It'll be, well, people won't hear it, but I'll hear it, right?
No. So. Well, that's the best. Is that that you get to hear it. So it's a little something for you and I. But for those who, if ever you're watching and Pawel Burza just randomly laughs in an awkward spot, it's literally because I've found a new Polish word that is slightly obscene or juvenile, but we've gone there anyways. So I think the Polish word of the week, I think, is something that we need to
totally.
And
totally.
And if you want, you can give me like a French word, and I will try to, because you don't speak French at all, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
But you've heard French words.
Yeah, croissant, for example. Croissant.
I like how it becomes French when you do it with that accent and that face. So that's how it has to be. Okay, all right. Yeah, again, we're just building this. Like this is essentially you and I. We showed up to to this like plot of land that Shinmiri burnt to the ground, and now we're just talking about
scorched earth, pretty much.
Yeah, he did. Like Shinmiri basically got on his Harley Davidson, flipped us off, flicked his cigarette in a pile of gasoline, and then rode off into the sunset to go have kids. Like,
doesn't sound like him, although it paints really cool image in my head. So kind of imagine that.
Dude, the guy's name is Henry Fang. Like, he could be part of like the there's like the Cobra Kai, but like there's a new one. There's like the
Early and Fang, like the one you were saying about him and Spessy, like totally works. Like I could see them as a dynamic duo with like an awesome 80s.
I forgot 80s
muscle car. Like totally like have a show together.
Oh, I forgot about the Curly and Fang cop duo. Curly and Fang. And
totally. Where did you Starsky and Hutch? I mean, come on.
But like, who is the muscle and who is like the brains? Like, what? Because they have to have
easy.
Come on. I don't think any of them are the muscle. I don't think
No. I think being from the UK, you gotta be tough. You gotta be tough there. So I think he'll be the muscle. Like Spessy will be the muscle for sure.
Spessy recently got me into cheering for Everton. I don't know.
Ooh.
I know nothing about football, soccer, whatnot. I know.
But you're cheering for the.
Yeah, because we were just chatting, and like it's the same way for me, like American football, like the NFL. I never liked it, but one of my closest friends is an enormous lives in Wisconsin near the Green Bay Packers. He's like, I'm a huge Packers fan. I'm like, all right, I'm a Packers fan now. I'm like, sure. And for Spessy, it was basically the same thing. Like at first I was like, the only teams I knew were like Manchester City and Arsenal, because Arsenal sounds cool and it's also the combination of arse and anal, and I thought that was hilarious. So I was like, yeah, that seems good. And then Spessy was talking to me about how he was watching a match and they won, and I said, who is it? And he said, oh, it's Everton. And then he asked me about the Montreal Canadiens, and I explained to them about the history. I'm like, about how they have like 24 world championships, but they haven't won in like 30 years. So it's like, we have this amazing history, but no recent success. He's like, that's just like Everton, mate. I'm like, I'm an Everton fan. I'm like, sweet. So now you gotta root for the team that is not doing too well at a specific time, and then when you see them succeed, it's just amazing, right? Well, you get rewarded, and then you feel like you were there at the ground level.
Exactly. And if you're always rooting for the top dog or the best team, it's kind of like, okay, they're gonna win anyway. So yay, woohoo!
It's like those people who downloaded closed beta Gwent and then left and then came back at homecoming and said, I knew it was going to be great. Of course. It's like, yeah, okay, calm down.
Exactly.
All right. Well, this has kind of been, it's going to be a short one to start, because this is, I think, just us saying hello. But
hello there.
I know. And it's great to have you here, man. But we're going to be fielding questions but everyone wants to know. But I mean, you could kind of give us maybe a little bit of is there anything that you know right now that you can kind of help us out? I want to give a shout out also to Devil Driven, who has this campaign going on right now where every 50 likes he gets on Twitter, he makes the Golden Necker's head bigger, which I think is
exactly. I gotta totally support that. That is amazing. I love it. More stuff like that, more content like that is what the internet actually needs. Yes. Less of that NFT stuff and those
Oh,
Wordles and whatever.
I was
Like,
about to say
get that stuff out of the way. This is the content that we want and the content we deserve.
I did some Wordle today, actually, and as I was getting more and more correct, um, the picture that it generated, the like, the whole like share your results and you get like that graphic, was more every time I did it, it looked more and more like the game was giving me the finger. Like it was basically like it was like, okay, like number 1, number 2, number 3, and I'm like, damn, I'm like, I get it, I suck, I get it. The game was just trying to troll me there. So tell us what's going on, what's brewing. You guys went back to the labs, I guess.
Yeah, we're back at it. I mean, coming back after, like, I came back because normally there's like you have the whole Christmas break, and then a lot of people come back in January. You can either come back before the 6th, because the 6th is like a Catholic holiday also here, so it's a day off. So it was a Thursday, if you took a Friday off, you had almost half of the week off. So a lot of people just took the rest of the week off, and I think the majority came back to the studio around like the 10th. And I was there a week early just to kind of go through emails, start prepping stuff. But yeah, it's been full force. Like we're working on all the stuff for the upcoming journey. We also have one bigger thing that we're trying to finalize as soon as possible. So a lot of stuff has been going into that. It will remain nameless at that time.
It's a Shinmiri project. Is that what it is?
No. It's something cool and something big that we're working on, that I'm super excited for. It's really cool to see the project and the thing actually, coming into fruition. So I'm really happy about that. And apart from that, like working on these things, it's just a lot of planning how we transition into this year. There's also a lot of like stuff in terms of what we want to do this year, and how team structures would look like, or what things we can do a little bit differently than we did in the previous year. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And I think, always like January till Feb is a lot of like just, planning and trying to get stuff done, and thinking about, okay, when do we do updates? What will the updates have in them? And also what new features, what new content, where we want to launch it, where we want to place it. So it's a nice Kickstarter, and it's been super busy, to be honest. And yeah, really happy to keep that stuff going. Some cool opportunities in terms of like working with different teams, or also changing a little bit the employee roster when it comes to like growing my team and changing my team, and then the kind of responsibilities that I have. So really excited about all those things. But yeah, I think it will all start unveiling itself in the next like 2 to 3 months. So really happy about it.
That's good. That's always good. Again, some of the biggest concerns that people have, me included, usually arise around like November, December, when you have no idea what the next year is going to look like. So the roadmap is always a great indicator. Yeah. Just the fact that the year has been looked at and confirmed as being an active year. So having a roadmap is great. But
I was like super sorry to cut you off. I was so happy that we did it actually earlier, that we did it during World Masters, because I didn't want us to have the roadmap again somewhere around, February, March, because I feel like it's always too late. Because in December, more or less, like, is that time where people kind of reflect on the year, which is like kind of passing through, but they're already looking forward into the next year. And, of course, you have the whole thing of New Year's resolutions and stuff like that, which I totally don't buy into or anything like that. But it's good to actually have a plan coming into the year and saying like, okay, we know what to expect when, and we know they already have a plan, beforehand, and kind of coming in and in January and starting executing the plan and starting thinking about like what else can be added, what can be tweaked, what can be changed. Like, yeah, I like that dynamic for sure.
Well, we're all like just. We're at a point now where Gwent has been around for so long in 2 major iterations of it, and It's like everybody's kind of like, there was the initial spark of the game and the popularity of it. Then there was the introduction of Homecoming, which was a renaissance, and the development to where it is now. And people are kind of like, you're like, okay, we like games need to stay fresh, and it's hard when it's a card game, because how do you revitalize or inject that same spark from God knows when, from the earlier stages of the game, when all the only tools that you might have are things like, new cards. Game modes are always important, but it's hard. It's so hard to create a game mode. And like a lot of these games now have these like auto battlers style things, Storybook Brawl, Battlegrounds, Hearthstone Battlegrounds, like games like that have really injected new life to the genre, because it kind of opens new space. But it's so weird to think about how, Gwent is such a different animal is what I'm trying to get to.
True.
I get asked all the time what my favorite, like what's better, Gwent or Magic, or Gwent or Flesh and Blood or this. And the way that I think about it is, it's like, it's so different. It's so different. It's like saying what's different, like what's better, like football or hockey. Well, they're both sports, but they're played completely different. Like you could like both. You could love both. But like, there's no life totals.
You can't compare. Like it's hard to compare these two things, right? They're both amazing, but you can't really compare them. It's like pizza and burgers. Like you love both. We can't compare those two things, right?
Oh, but until you go to the US where they've combined the two, you could like just get cheeseburgers on pizza or get. Yeah. I had this conversation the other day with my buddy. I said, sorry, I'm going on a little bit of a heated rant here, but he got macaroni and like mac and cheese pizza. I was like, the fuck? I'm like,
what?
I know. And well, this is my friend in Wisconsin. Okay. I was like, dude, I'm like, anytime a food is trying to be another food, that food is bad. So don't do it. Like, don't go get like cheeseburger pizza or, cheeseburger lasagna or something.
Get both. Get pizza, you get cheeseburgers. Yeah, right? You don't have to mix them. You can eat both of them.
Yeah, it's like some kind of weird, dark American alchemy that they're trying to perfect, of trying to smush two types of foods together. That just makes both of them worse. They are not more than the sum of their parts. They are less than the sum of their parts. Yeah. Stop doing it. I'm sorry. Because whenever I go visit,
this is why these things should be separate, right?
Oh, I of all the injustices in the world, this is the one that we're so worked up on. But when I go visit them, they're like, oh, you should try this. They managed to shove like melted cheese and tater tots into a burrito. I'm like, stop it. Like, just fucking stop it. It's like, stop pushing food together. Oh my God. It's nice. It's perverse. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. People like those mixes. Maybe it's because it's something that you're familiar with and you're willing to go with it. But yeah, back to Gwent. Let's stay on the topic. So lots of exciting, cool stuff coming in this year for sure. And yeah, like you said, and I also wanted to go back to what you were saying, like card games overall. I think like moving into this year and probably next year, I feel like card games will have another resurgence in some way. I feel like it's been a year or two when it's kind of a little bit off, and like we're also like talking about this and discussing this, like we've seen, like companies and players come into the market and coming out with their games, and they have been afloat for some time, and then they kind of dropped off. And now if you look at the amount of card games that we really have on the market, it's kind of it's in let's say it's in a place where the players that are supposed to be here are here. And I feel like we're going to see another resurgence of card games, like once again. I feel like because with card games, it's always up and down, up and down, up and down. And I think we're hitting the place where we'll be going up once again.
Do you think that, I always thought about this, it's, do you think that it's just like like you mentioned, those who are there, like, or those who should be there are there? Like, do you think that it's just, we're just done seeing any kind of new card game that actually sticks, that has traction? Because like the last major entrant into this field was probably Runeterra, I would say. Yeah. And like, for at least I'm talking from a digital platform. Like I have a lot of love and obvious, self-interest in something like Flesh and Blood, but Flesh and Blood doesn't have a digital format. Like they are purposely not doing that. But
Yeah.
Something like Runeterra is very popular. First of all, it's a great game, but ultimately there are other really great games that are out there that don't have that kind of financial muscle, that don't have the capital to support it. So is it just like Gwent is completely different? It had the capital to push it and the team to design it, but it also had something completely different. So is that space now just completely occupied, you think, or is there still room for some sort of major innovation? I think, because I think the next one that sort of weaseled its way in to certain levels of popularity is like Storybook Brawl. But
Exactly.
But Storybook Brawl didn't break the mold. Like Battlegrounds,
Yes.
like, look, I don't know the history of it, who came up with the idea first, and maybe one developed it first. But Storybook Brawl, as an independent auto battler, came in and late to the party, and actually has a great following. So what is it going to take for like another card game, you think, to actually stick? Is it innovation, or is it just money?
I think innovation comes with money. I mean, these are two things. I think it also, I think you need to have either a big company behind it, or you need a card game to come in and fill a void, or fill in a place of a competitor, or a large player they already have that kind of drops the ball on something. If they drop the ball on something and someone does it better or does it in a more refined way, they will kind of we will see them kind of appear. But I kind of feel like, I'm not talking about any specific card games, or I'm not talking particularly only about us, but I'm kind of talking about the whole market. I think like it's something that we'll kind of see like a resurgence. Like, will be more companies like thinking, maybe we should do our own card game, but let's do it like this, right? So I kind of feel like now is the time, because we had some downtime and we kind of saw some companies came in, they tried it, didn't work out for them. But I think there will be more players trying to do their own stuff, because I feel like card games, they always go that way. It's an up and down, up and down, up and down. So I think we're on the up right now.
Yeah, which is I mean, for those like me who sort of base their whole careers on it, it's always good to hear. It's always terrifying sometimes to think about, just like one day waking up and being like, oh, nobody plays this anymore. So like, I
don't think that will, I think if you're able to sustain something, it's really cool. And if it's there for like a couple of years, it means it's probably going to stick, right? Because if it's something that was supposed to kind of, go the way of the dodos, however you say that, it would happen probably at an earlier part of development in that game's life cycle.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be on the rise this time. And especially that, I mean, I even look at our community when it comes to Gwent. I see kind of more and more people interested in it. I know it's also kind of the Witcher effect that we have at the end of the year, when there's always a new season of the Netflix show launching, and the Witcher and the Witcher universe and the books and the games and Gwent and everything. We all see, there's a lot of traction and talking about it. People Google it, people check it, people want to know more. They want to get immersed more into this stuff. And we see a rise, but also I see kind of new people coming in to the community, and new like streamers and new faces, and maybe it's not even the allure of the Witcher universe, but they just come in because they want to stream a card game, because it can be fun. I mean, you can be super competitive with it, but you can just do it for fun. And I think card games for streaming and kind of building a community around it, I think it's really fun. And the community of any card game is like super dedicated. I mean, actually, funny story that I can add to this, like I recently started going back and playing like Magic, like going to the local store and just to play, and I went in after not playing for 4 years or something like that. I suck totally when I play and stuff like that, but still I went after like not playing for 3 to 4 years in person, because digital formats, like they're always accessible. And I saw like the same faces that I saw like 4 years ago, and the same people that were always there are still there. And and you get like 1, 2, 3 new people kind of coming in, but still it's like the founding fathers that have been there for X amount of years are always there. So it's really cool, and it's really cool how they kind of bring in new people. You feel part of the whole community aspect of it, but also it's a very familiar place that when you come back, you're like, I know these dudes, they're all cool. So yeah, I really like that.
I may have told the story before, but if people haven't heard it, about 3 years ago,
you're gonna hear it.
You're gonna hear it. Yeah, I mean, don't turn off the channel or don't stop the video, but still, you're going to hear it. About 3 years ago, I was back in Montreal visiting my parents. It was over the holidays, and I was just driving, and I saw the old card store that I used to go and play at. And I don't want to say that I'm an innovator in any way, but I used to study at coffee shops before anyone else did. I was the first one to sit there with my books and do my homework at a coffee shop. And people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, leave me alone. And then everyone did it. I am an innovator. That is a thing I invented.
OG.
Yeah, definitely an OG. One of the other things that me and my friends did was we pulled a table from behind the counter of our local card store and played at the store. No one else used to play at the actual stores. It was a small place, but for us to play there, so we were there like 2 times a week, or like once a week on the weekends. We used to play at this card store, but we were like 13, right? We'd go from school on Fridays, walk like, a kilometer to this card store and play.
That's just amazing. Yeah. I love those stories.
But we were 13. We were playing Star Wars cards and Star Wars CCG. And it was the same guy who ran the store. Now to us, he was like this like super cool adult guy, when in reality, like we were 13, he was like 17, but it was a dude named Ricky. And every time, and like he was the nicest guy because he let us take the table and play there. He let us use the washroom behind the counter, like and he would give us snacks, and like he was just a nice guy. 20 years later, I'm driving past this card store. I haven't been there for maybe 17 years. 15 to 17 years. I walk in because I'm like, let me just go see what they're up to. I walk in, everybody's playing cards, like at the table.
Wow.
Yeah. I walk in, I go to the counter, and he's like, Matt? I'm like, Ricky? He's like, where you been? I haven't seen you in so long. You still playing Star Wars? I'm like, Star Wars doesn't exist anymore. He's like, yeah, but you guys can still play. He's like, let me go check if I have any cards in the back. I'm like, my man, I'm like, wow, this is incredible. So that was it. Like what you're saying, like you haven't been there in 4 years. I was 15 plus years, and the card store owner knew exactly who I was. And I was there alone, and he's like, hey, how's your buddy Chris? I'm like, Chris? He's like, yeah, Chris, didn't he live around here? Like you guys used to play. I was like, dude, that is insane. I'm like, that's the kind of feeling that now I'm just kind of missing, man. Like it's really digging into me, this whole lockdown stuff. And like, I don't want this to devolve into, the whole sort of self-loathing COVID sucks kind of talk, but like that is one of
But it kind of is that way, right? You miss those social aspects of it. And I really like that, what you mentioned is like a lot of like local shops pretty much, they give you the ability to come in and play cards. And it is something that, like you mentioned, I also saw it like here, but also in the States, like it used to be a place where you would just go and buy cards, but more and more they thought, okay, why don't we just build a community around it? People will come, they will buy, water, they will buy snacks, they will buy anything they see on shelves, they will buy boosters just for the sake of it. And they also can come in, have a good time, meet, trade cards, sell cards. Like we talked, everybody comes with their binder, opens it up, is like, hey, check this out, it's nice because it builds this community. But I also feel like once you get to know these people, you kind of like, you know them for life, right? And because you remember, we met at this and this time, we were playing this and this and that, and it builds the whole community around it. It's really amazing. I love that.
It's a good feeling. Like it definitely is. And now that I've gotten like I love Magic. One of my favorite memories is that first time that we met, we sat down, you and I, and played Magic against each other. And you played that life gain artifact deck that beat the living bejesus out of me.
Hell out of you. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was fun.
I ended up taking it out on Mogwai. I beat Mogwai after that with my white and green angels list. So
it was a cool deck though.
Oh, well, yours was insane because I had never seen anything because you're playing stuff all the way from Kaladesh, and like I wasn't familiar with that set. And in my mind, all you're doing is you're just putting all these contraptions on the board, and you're like, okay, beep beep boop boop boop. All right, I gained like 80 life. I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay, let me read that card. And like just. I don't play much Magic, but I'm so into Flesh and Blood now, and the only way to play it, frankly, I mean, is either through webcam, which is awkward and cumbersome, or you go to the card store. And I used to go every week. I used to drive an hour to go to a weekly tournament, and it was, and that to me is like one of those casualties of all of this. And I'm in contact with the store owners and the people who work at some of these places, and you know, I'm just every week I'm like, so what's the story? And they're like, just shut up, like stop, like we will tell you when you can come back. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, thankfully here, you know, it's possible, especially if you sign up early. Of course, there's a limit of people that can come in. Everybody needs to wear masks, and you need to, you know, pretty much show that you are fully vaccinated. So if you like tick all those boxes, it's possible for you to take part. And to be honest, I've missed this so much that I just like going at least once a week, just finding that time just to go and spend there 3 to 4 hours just playing with people, because you know, I just miss the community aspect. Like I would also love to have like any type of Gwent event finally for the community, for the local people that are here, you know, in Poland, but also for others to fly in, or to have the, you know, the esports aspect, just to have like a possibility of watch stuff in the studio and have people come in or fly over and just to, you know, just to sit down and talk with everybody and just chill. And, you know, especially if we could do it in a way where, you know, I don't have to be focused on work and stuff like that, but just have time just to chill and talk with people. That would be amazing.
So what are the chances that
Dude, no one knows
that we
with this world right now? Like, you don't know. Like if you look at statistics and stuff like that, it's bad once again, like it was last year. Like the winter time is like the worst when it comes to the pandemic and the number of people getting infected and stuff like that. Plus we have this whole Omicron stuff. So next is going to be Megatron or Optimus Prime or something like that. We're going to be even more screwed. So
and then we get Omicron too, like the re-Omicroning or something like that.
Exactly.
You know? It's who knows, man.
Who knows? But yeah, we gotta keep going. And like I always say, like, you know, I'm a community manager first. So for me, just having any community aspect is something that I'm always driven to. I mean, the same goes with running, cycling. I like going just to events just to kind of like feel the hype and see the people, and you know, we're all kind of driven by the same stuff. So if you see that kind of gets my juices flowing in a good way. Yeah.
All right. I dig it. So yeah, that has been our first introduction, I would say, to what you all can expect. I think that's, I mean, listen, we came in with no plan, and we got almost 45 minutes in the books of just
easy.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. No roping either. So he who shall remain nameless is.
Yeah, we can talk for days. I mean,
yeah.
Like I think we come from a similar background in some way, but we're also
Poland. Woo!
Yes, and we also like the same jokes. Like we love card games, and that's the stuff that kind of, you know, is the glue that keeps us together here. But also is kind of the thing that we're driven towards more and more, right?
Okay, so we're gonna do the Polish word of the day, or Polish word of the week.
Go for it.
This one again. This one comes from. They're all gonna probably come from Babcia Marysia, my late grandmother, whom I love so much. Words that I've heard her say, sometimes directed at me. I will say it, and you can kind of explain it. So, most of them are either food or curses. But here's this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one is variat.
Variat. So a crazy person. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I've been called a variat by my grandma also. Like it's something that was normal. So yeah, but crazy like that. You have a lot of energy, and you're like a volcano. ADD and stuff like that. ADD or ADHD?
There's ADHD. Just keep adding letters to it.
Yeah, ADHD I think is the one where you're kind of amped all the time and running around and being crazy, or just you had too much sugar as a kid or something like that. So yeah, you can say that person is a variat, but we can also call someone like cuckoo crazy variat also. But I think when it comes to your grandma, I think it came from a good place.
Yeah, I think the most times would be like I would climb the tree in the backyard, which she wouldn't let me climb, and I'd be like 7 or 8 years old, and I'd climb this tree, and I'd be like, "Babcia, look!" And then she'd be like, "Coś ty wariował? Oh my god! Oh my, get down! No! I was just like, I'd be like, "Hi, look, Babcia, look!" And I was like,
Aww.
2 stories high in this tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. So that's the Babcia Marisha word of the week.
Would not be possible these days. Kids cannot climb trees. It's unsafe. And you need a helicopter parent around and kind of, like a net under the tree so the kid doesn't fall and doesn't hurt himself. And, Yeah.
That would never happen. That was everything I did was immensely dangerous, apparently, according to my Babcia. So that's the Babcia Marisha word of the week. So
nice.
that's the new segment. I guess we'll put it up there. So
Varia with a W, remember.
Yeah,
boys and girls watching.
Perfect. So there you go. See, this is an educational show as well.
Yes.
All right. Well, I just want to end it with saying that I recently just had like some very, very difficult depression issues and whatnot, and I just want to throw it out there to the community that I heard and got a lot of support, and I am immensely grateful and humbled by it because it's not easy. And I know the thing about it, the hardest part is the fact that I know that I'm not the only one who has issues, and that my issues are unique and everyone's issues are unique. So the fact that people take the time to worry about me when I know that everyone else has their own things to worry about, it's hard for me to accept at times, but at the same time, it's important to be there for others. And I heard you, and I really, really, you specifically as well, Pawel. Like, I got such kind words from so many people at CDPR, sent me messages, and everyone in the community as well. So I can't articulate how important it was, because it was tough, and there were sincere moments where I don't know it was scary, and it was dangerous, and it was dark, and you guys did an immense job of sort of throwing me a rope, as it were. So I appreciate it, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to say that. So thank you, because it means a lot. Thank you.
Dude, we got you, and I think I speak for the majority of the people. Like, you bring so much happiness, joy, and good stuff to other people that, we got you back. I like the stuff that you give, which we'll always try to give back to you, man, because you're amazing, and the stuff that you do is amazing. So let's just keep it going.
Let's just keep it going. That's the plan. So we'll end it on that, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the new show. This is it. It is the Flurza podcast now, as he who shall remain nameless. Yeah, burnt it to the ground, Pawel. So we got to rebuild it. So
one more big shoes to fill. Boom, boom, boom. So we can get that. We can get that ding. Episode 2. We're not talking about him no more.
No, he's done.
He's gone.
Old news. Yeah, Flurza is your new best friends. So
exactly.
Keep an eye out every week. I believe on Thursdays. This is when it gets published. So cheers to you guys. Thanks for listening. Send us your questions. That is what we're here for.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm keeping an eye out. Yeah, we love it. All right. Well, I would usually end the podcast by saying I love you to he who shall remain nameless, but he is dead to me now. So, Pawel, I love you, man.
Man, I love you too. Awesome.
All right, and we love you guys. So don't forget to follow the channel and all that stuff. 5-star reviews all around. We'll see you next time on the Flurza podcast.
Bye.